audiences do not actually care so much when you put creatives in front of them. If you are talking to somebody that's bald, that doesn't have hair on their heads, and you give them a solution to growing their hair, then your creative can actually be quite bad, and they will still respond to your message. These people out there are not interested in what you have to say, and this is something that people don't work hard enough at actually finding on the Facebook advertising platform. You got to keep in mind that in the Facebook world, there's so much people using it, so many demographics, so many socioeconomic levels, and so many different areas that if you don't work hard enough to understand these audiences and find them, then you're going to lose every single time. Most of the times when I see people quitting and they say, well, I tried, I was working hard at finding an audience, I kept on doing Facebook advertising, and it didn't happen. What they didn't do was try hard enough. That's a reality. Facebook ads is a process of discovery that you have to run 10 to 20 campaigns before you actually find a winning audience. Imagine that. So it's like on the baseball world, right? On baseball, if you are a baseball hitter, what your job is to hit the ball. You're not a pitcher, you're not a catcher. Your job is to hit the ball. If you actually hit the ball 3 times out of every 10 times, do you know that you're considered very successful? The best performing athletes in the history of the baseball sport have only batted about 400, 380, the best ones, meaning that for every 10 at-bats, they only were able to actually hit a good hit or like get into the bases safe 3 to 4 times max. So that's the reality of what's going on today with Facebook ads. People don't try enough. They don't get enough at-bats until they find that audience. Because if you think about the great enormity of what we have in front of us today, which is one single platform, one single app, one single media organization that can give you access to enormous wealth of people, basically unlimited traffic. All you gotta do is understand how to find your audience. Let me tell you one thing. The best audiences do not actually care so much when you put creatives in front of them. If you are talking to somebody that's bald, that doesn't have hair on their heads, and you give them a solution to growing their hair, then your creative can actually be quite bad, and they will still respond to your message. But on the other hand, if you're talking about creating $1 million video production, doing incredibly aesthetic artwork and images and graphics and designs and all these things, but then you talk to people that have heads full of hair, then you're going to lose every single time. So creative is secondary to actual finding an audience. You have to work on understanding who your audience is. One of my main concentrations throughout all my training, in my articles in my blog, in my videos, in my seminars, all over the place, is I'm trying to drive the point home that people are not working hard enough at understanding their audience, and they don't persist enough in locating that group of people that is willing to hear their message and that wants to engage with them because they like your product and service. Some people, let's talk about the example of somebody being overweight. Well, some people don't even care. You don't have to find overweight people, because a lot of overweight people don't really care that they're overweight, or maybe are not interested in handling the problem. So you have to find the people that are actually interested in handling the problem. And that requires targeting. Let's say, for example, somebody that dresses horribly, and they are always dressing in rags, broken clothes, shirts that are like all dirty, shoes that are like the worst quality shoes. They don't buy any quality clothes at all. You might think like, wait a second, so maybe all I have to do is find these people and promote to them because they need to dress better. Well, the only person that thinks that they need to dress better is you and maybe their neighbors. But they themselves don't care about that. So it's not just only about finding people that have that problem. It's also about finding people that want to do something about that problem. You gotta help them wake up. No, you're talking to somebody that is unhealthy. You make them see that their life can get shortened dramatically, and they cannot see their kids grow up, and they will not be able to see their grandchildren because they're not gonna be around. If you help them see that, they wake up. Somebody in the example of not being able to style themselves correctly, not dressing properly, these people, you need to somehow make them realize that they should have a better sense about themselves, better self-confidence, and how that improves their quality of life. So there's things that you can do along the way to nurture people, and that's why content works so well, because it helps people wake up and raise responsibility for their problems that your business addresses to them and handles for them. So that's the one thing to keep in mind, but you have to actively work at understanding and finding your audience. If you don't do that, you're going to fail every single time. Most people are not your customers. They don't care. Let's say that you have 170 million people in the United States actively using Facebook. About 200 million people actively using Facebook and Instagram every single day. It's a lot of people. Most of those people are not interested in what you have to say. You have to find the several million people that do want to hear what you have to say.